How we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Bike Sport channel. As promised in my overview of my actual bike, I said I would do a quick review of the Scottoiler E-System, which I have. Hope this video finds you well. Scottoiler do three different systems. They do the E-System, which is this one here. They do the X-System, which is identical to the E-System without the LCD screen. And they do the V-System, which purely works off the vacuum of the bike. So nothing to do with connecting up to the actual battery of the bike like I do here on the E-System and the X-System. The V-System, you are purely hooking the actual Scottoiler up to the breather tubes or the vacuum tubes on the bike, depending on where they are. You can see mine there. And basically you actually cut one of the actual breather tubes, stick a T-piece on, run it back to the actual Scottoiler, and as soon as you turn the bike on, which is important, as soon as you turn the bike on, the actual oil starts to flow to the actual nib. On the actual E-System and the V-System, you hook them up to the battery and it is worked by an accelerometer. That is the word of today, children, accelerometer. So basically what happens is it works off the vibration of the engine. Now if you have a nice V-twin like me, nice vibey engine, you can turn down the sensitivity. I will just show you here in the actual display. I don't know if you can pick that up nice and easy. Here we go. So if I press the actual settings button, that's the flow level. Here's the sensitivity right there. So you can higher and lower the sensitivity. Great piece of kit. So if you have a nice smooth inline 4, you might have to make the sensitivity up to the right a bit, to the plus. I'm fine where I am. That's the actual display there. Top left hand corner you can see the oil drop with the X through it. That means that there's no oil currently flowing. Bottom left hand corner is the temperature today, which I highly doubt is 29 degrees, but I wouldn't say it's far off it. Bottom right you have the actual ACC, which is the accelerometer. When the bike is actually moving, that goes up in bars, 3 bars. So if I actually started the bike now, I'd say 1 bar would be equipped to show you that there is vibration and the actual Scottoiler is picking it up. On the far right hand side you have the reservoir, and then in the middle you have the actual flow rate. Now as I said, the only difference between the E-System and the X-System is this screen here. That's the only difference. The actual units themselves are more or less identical. So the install on this wasn't too bad. Obviously each bike is different. I said the older the bike and the more gaps and holes you have to work with. As you can see from the front of this 1290, there is very little room to work with. In fact, there's no room to work with. Everything is blocked off. There's no holes or little chasms or anything to run. Basically what I had to do is I had to take off the side panel, the top panel and the other side panel. Just the panels, nothing else. And what I did was I got a plastic coat hanger, and there's a small gap just here between the petrol tank and the frame, and I put the top of the cable onto the coat hanger with a bit of masking tape, pushed it all the way through, and I got it here. Lucky enough it took me about 10-15 minutes. Didn't have to go taking off fuel tanks and all, which I probably should have, or probably would have had to do if I couldn't get that done. So I wasn't going to do it. I would have got the KTM dealer to actually put the thing on if I had to go removing fuel tanks and all. One thing I will say to you is when you're buying this system is make sure you get the latest revision. This is revision 3.1, so this is the latest firmware installed. In the box you get like a small bottle of Scottoiler, all the different fixings. Obviously you get the actual Scottoiler itself, the LCD display, loads of tubing coming out of your nose. You have, we'll just show you how I actually hooked this up. Nice neat job. Couple of clips all the way down, and I was lucky that I could actually install this to the actual shark fin here. I could have done it to the actual bobbin for the paddock stand, but the actual bolt you get in the kit doesn't actually fit that. So I just hooked it up, as you can see here, to the actual shark fin. A lot of people actually don't like Scottoilers, to be honest with you, but anybody who I know who doesn't like them set them up wrong, to be honest with you. They're going on about, oh, the oil goes everywhere, it doesn't work, the nibs are breaking off. I've had a Scottoiler now on my last 3 bikes. Obviously not as fancy as this. The only reason why I went with this one is because when I was ordering it on sportsbike.co.uk, no plug, they're not sponsoring this channel, I had to buy this out of my own hard-earned money. Yeah, when I was ordering this off sportsbike.com, the actual E-System was the same price as the X-System. I was actually going for the X-System, and I seen that the one with the LCD was the same price. It was a no-brainer. I mean, a lot of people are saying, they're mad money, man, they're not worth it. But like, if you think about the actual, like, no maintenance on the chain apart from cleaning, like, it's a no-brainer. It actually does lengthen the life of your chain and your sprockets. So anyway, I digress. As I was saying, that most people don't like the actual Scottoiler purely because that the nibs break off, they keep breaking, the oil goes everywhere. If you have this set up correctly, it does a fabulous job. So basically, the best way to have it is, if you see there the actual nib, you're meant to have the actual oil dropping onto the sprocket, not directly onto the chain. Because what happens is the actual oil drips onto the sprocket, and then gravity brings it down onto the chain, and then the chain gets oiled by centrifugal force. It slings the oil from one side of the actual link to the other side of the actual link. Now you can get a scorpion nib which does both sides at the same time, but to be honest with you, that's just hassle trying to get it around the two sides. It's just more hassle than it's worth. So this is ideal, absolutely ideal. This unit cost me €240, €240, which I know is an expensive outlay, but you know what I mean, it's value for money in my opinion. Value for money. Nice tidy job. Everything on this here now is in the kit, didn't have to buy anything else. And basically you get a little grommet here that goes on the tube just here, and that stops the oil flowing backwards. There's a little arrow on it, so make sure you put the arrow facing to the right. And then if I want to actually just fill up this, I'll just open down the actual peg, take off this, put the tube in, and Bob's your auntie. I have to say, it's a very neat job. The only thing there's no getting away from is the ugly cable ties, but you know what, it is what it is. It is what it is. Fabulous piece of kit. So as I said, this is hooked up to the battery. Very simple job, onto the battery. So when you start the bike, nothing happens. So you can start this bike now and the oil would not flow. So you set it up to start the oil flowing depending on the vibrations of the bike. So obviously the faster you go, the more vibrations. Currently I have this set that it will start oiling at 30 kilometers an hour, and then under 30 kilometers an hour the oil stops. So it's a fantastic piece of kit, works really well, really well. I think it looks well too. I mean, I don't need another screen, but however, it is what it is. I mean, to be honest with you, I only wanted the X-System, which was the actual unit here. As I said, the difference between the X-System and the E-System is the actual Scottoiler unit has an LED on the side of it with an arrow on the top and an arrow on the bottom. So obviously that's for adjusting the flow rate, and then you hold the two of them down to get it priming. So you have no LCD, but there is an actual LED on the side of the actual Scottoiler. So I have to say, lads, I think it's a very neat job on the old KTM. Nice and neat. I mean, you can't even see the Scottoiler, to be honest with you. I don't think you can notice it at all. I mean, if I didn't tell you had a Scottoiler there, you wouldn't see it. Nice and neat, it's not unsightly. If you do a lot of touring, you can get an actual touring reservoir which goes behind the actual reg plate, and it holds about 1 litre of oil, but that's overkill. I mean, I just fill up the reservoir obviously depending how much riding you're doing. And the fact that I can adjust the flow rate on the fly with the actual LCD is a no-brainer. So having been a little bit skeptical over the display, thought it was a waste of money, I have to say, after being riding around and adjusting that, I think it's a great piece of kit. So that is just a quick review, guys, of the actual Scottoiler E-System on the 1290 KTM. Very easy to fit. Very easy to fit. The only trouble I had was trying to get the bracket on here. I mean, the bracket that's actually quite long. If I go around the back here, they changed they changed the actual mounting unit on the display. There used to be a T adapter that comes on that, and as you can see the screw holes here, you used to screw them on both sides. I actually had this 3M plastic left over from my GoPro fit to the helmets, so Obviously I haven't done that in the rain yet, so I don't know how sturdy that is, but 3M, good stuff. This is actually a long bar. I think you're meant to put the bottom of the bracket to this screw here and then put it onto this screw here, but because there's an actual convex or concave on the actual bracket here, there's no way you would have needed a longer screw. But that's totally fine there. As I said, I have it actually routed through the cables here all the way down. Lovely neat job, and doesn't distract you at all on the actual bike. I mean, once you set off and you know what it's doing its job, I just check it to make sure the oil is flowing, and that's it. So that's a nice neat job on the Scottoiler. Highly recommend it. I mean, I don't know if we could have even bought the V-System. I'd say if I start cutting tubes on the actual KTM when the bike is under warranty, the actual warranty will go out the window. You know, they is bleeding KTM dealers, any old excuse. But there we have it. Nice neat job. As I said, you get loads of fixings in the box. If you go onto the actual Scottoiler website as well, there is a detailed PDF on nearly every bike going. There was one there for my bike. If you ring them up and you want to fit the actual shark nib a different way and you are missing a bit of bobs, they send them out to you free of charge. I've also on my last couple of bikes broke a couple of these nibs off because they were probably fitted incorrectly, and they sent me out new rubber, so you get replacements in the box. But they really do think of everything. Great piece of kit, well worth the money, so I can highly recommend it. So there we go guys, just a quick video on the old Scottoiler. If you have any questions, stick them in the actual comments there, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.